Level 1. The applicant. It all begins with a simple digital form. You are the applicant, sitting at your computer, filling out the official CIA online application, just like thousands of others. You list your education, your background, and your professional history. You hit submit. And then, silence. 6 months pass before an email arrives, inviting you for an interview. You fly to Virginia on your own expense, arriving at a building that looks like any ordinary government office. The air is filled with the hum of fluorescent lights and the smell of stale coffee. A man in a sharp gray suit sits across from you for 4 hours, dissecting your life. He asks where you were raised, what languages you speak, and grills you on any past drug use or legal trouble. The questions feel erratic, but they aren't. He is searching for a pattern, a crack in your story, a single lie. You pass the first test, but the true trial is the polygraph. You are strapped into a chair with sensors wrapped around your chest, your fingers, and your arm. A technician watches the monitors, tracking your heart rate, your breath, and the electricity in your skin. The questions get deeper. Have you ever committed a crime and gotten away with it? Have you ever betrayed someone who trusted you? Have you ever had thoughts of self-harm or violence? You know the machine isn't a perfect lie detector, but the pressure makes you forget. You sweat, you hesitate, and you tell the absolute truth because the fear of being caught is overwhelming. 3 weeks later, a letter arrives. You've been accepted into the clandestine service trainee program. Welcome to the CIA. Level 2. The trainee. You are deployed to the farm, known officially as Camp Peary, Virginia. It is 9,000 acres of dense woods and treacherous swamps, isolated by high-tension fences and armed patrols. For the next 18 months, this wilderness is your entire world. The day begins at 5 a.m. hours with a grueling 5-mile run. By breakfast, your body is spent. By noon, your mind is being rewired. In the classroom, you dissect foreign regimes and terrorist networks, mastering tradecraft, the CIA's sophisticated term for the art of espionage. You are trained to perceive the invisible. You notice the sedan that mirrored your last 3 turns. You spot the man with the newspaper who glanced your way twice. You identify the woman on the park bench who was at the coffee shop 3 hours ago. You see the lethal patterns that civilians ignore. You learn the art of the vanish. Ducking into a department store, navigating 3 floors, exiting through a loading dock, and disappearing into a waiting car. Your hands become lethal tools as you pick high-security locks, crack embassy safes, and plant bugs, all while practicing on authentic government hardware. Then comes the darkest skill: recruiting assets. This is the delicate art of convincing people to betray their own country. You study the 4 pillars of human weakness: money, ideology, coercion, and ego. Everyone has a trigger. Your job is to pull it. The final exams take place on the streets of Richmond in D.C. Your instructors act as hostile intelligence officers hunting you. If they catch you, you fail. With a 40% washout rate, many crack under the pressure or find they are too moral for the deception. The survivors aren't just the smartest, they are the ones who can think on their feet and lie so convincingly they believe themselves. They are the masters of compartmentalization, doing the unthinkable by day and returning to a quiet family dinner by night as if nothing happened. You graduate in the elite top 15%. They hand you a badge and a forged identity. You are now a CIA operations officer. Your real career has finally begun. Level 3. The case officer. Your journey begins with a posting to an embassy in Eastern Europe, a former Soviet satellite state still caught in a tug-of-war between becoming a Western ally or a bitter adversary. Officially, your title is political attaché. Your name is etched on the diplomatic registry, you have a formal office within the embassy walls, and you spend your evenings at stiff diplomatic galas. Clad in an uncomfortable suit, you engage in hollow small talk, but behind the smile, you are dissecting everyone in the room. You are scanning for targets. You shake hands with local power brokers, memorizing every word, every slip of the tongue. By day, you draft reports on economic shifts and political volatility, intel that flows back to Washington via encrypted cables. But unofficially, you are a ghost. You are a spy. Your true objective is the art of recruitment. An asset is your currency. It can be anyone with the right access. A government official privy to cabinet secrets. A military strategist who knows exactly where the battalions are moving. A scientist buried in a classified weapons lab. A businessman trading in shadows where Americans aren't allowed. Even a secretary filing the papers that run the country. If they have access, they are a target. You study them like a predator. You map out their habits, their vices, and their quiet desperations. Does he have a mounting pile of debt? Does she have a sick child and a hospital bill she can't pay? Is he a closeted believer in American ideals? Or is she fueled by a burning resentment toward a government that overlooked her? Every soul has a pressure point. Your mission is to find it and apply the squeeze. Your first catch takes 8 months of patient cultivation. He is a mid-level bureaucrat in the Foreign Ministry, a man who sees every sensitive cable that crosses his desk. He also has a ruinous addiction to gambling. You accidentally encounter him at a casino. You buy the rounds, you listen to his stories, and you become the only friend he thinks he has. When he loses, you provide the cushion. You loan him a little, then a lot, then more. By the time the fog clears and he realizes the trap, he is $50,000 in your debt. You don't demand he betray his nation, not yet. You simply ask for a few documents. Something insignificant, just enough to wipe the slate clean. Trapped by his own choices, he agrees. He has no other exit. Just like that, you have a shadow eyes and ears inside the Foreign Ministry. You file your report. Your superiors are impressed. You have officially entered the game. Level 4, the knock. Most CIA officers operate under the safety of official cover. They carry diplomatic passports, drink coffee in embassy lounges, and hide behind the shield of diplomatic immunity. If a mission goes sideways, they get a polite escort to the airport and a flight home. It's a scandal, sure, but they stay alive. Their families sleep soundly. You've been handpicked for something far more clinical. NOC, non-official cover. This is the deep end of the intelligence world. There is no badge. There is no government ID. There is no embassy to run to when the sirens start. If you are burned, the United States will erase your fingerprints from their memory. The president will look into a camera and swear he's never heard your name. You won't face a judge. You'll face an interrogation room in a basement that doesn't exist. In some places, that means a life sentence. In others, it's a cold execution and a grave with no name. The agency builds you a legend. On paper, you are an international consultant for a firm that trades in shadows. The office is real, the tax returns are real, and your co-workers are oblivious. You are sent into the denied areas, territories where the U.S. officially has no eyes or ears. You recruit the assets that diplomats are too afraid to touch.
Good morning,
You inhabit
neighbor.
this lie 24 hours a day. To your neighbors, you're just a busy executive. To your partner, you're just a frequent traveler. To your parents, you're the one who walked away from public service years ago. Your only link to reality is a handler you haven't looked in the eye for 2 years. No phone calls, no meetings, only dead drops and encrypted whispers in the digital dark. The pay is a fortune, the stakes are global, and the isolation is absolute. You are a ghost working for a country that has already forgotten you. Level 5. The Paramilitary Officer. Your cover in Beirut is burning. Local intelligence has been closing in, and they've captured photos of you meeting your asset. You spotted the tail and managed to abort the meet, but it was too close. Dangerously close. You aren't burned yet, but you are compromised. You can never set foot in that region again. That's when they offer you the path to the Special Activities Division, SAD, the CIA's paramilitary wing. These aren't spies who carry sidearms. These are combat veterans who gather intelligence when the mission demands it. Within SAD lies the Special Operations Group, SOG, the elite of the elite. They go where conventional militaries are forbidden. They execute the operations that are too sensitive, too deniable, and too dangerous for official armed forces. You enter 6 months of hell. It's no longer about lockpicking or surveillance. It's about absolute lethality. You master small unit tactics, close quarters battle, and complex demolitions. You train on every firearm manufactured in the last half-century and undergo brutal high-altitude jumps, combat diving, and SEER training. Your instructors? Former Delta Force and SEAL Team 6 operators. They don't care about your tradecraft. They care if you can breach a door and clear a room without getting your team killed. Your first deployment is Afghanistan. You're hunting high-value targets, Al-Qaeda leadership, and the bomb makers responsible for American casualties. For 3 months, you live in a mountain mud compound, wearing local garb, growing a beard, and surviving on local rations. You're embedded with Afghan militia fighters whose loyalties are as shifting as the desert sand. Some fought the Soviets, some fought for the Taliban, and all of them follow the money. Betrayal is always a heartbeat away. You spend your days calling in drone strikes. Through your binoculars, you watch Hellfire missiles turn compounds into smoldering craters. Sometimes the intelligence is surgical. The target is hit, and the threat is neutralized. Other times, the intelligence is flawed. The target is gone, but others remain. Women, children, the collateral damage of a shadow war. You cannot afford to dwell on the what-ifs. You have another mission tomorrow. When it's all over, you are awarded a medal that technically doesn't exist for a mission that never officially happened in a country where you were never present. Your family will never know what you've done or why you still wake up in the dead of night, screaming.